Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. I hope that you all can hear me and see me. If you are here, please put your name and say hello to me in the comments. Let me make sure that I am where I need to be at all locations. Okay, so I am on YouTube, and let's also make sure that I am on Facebook. I'm glad to see you all. While I am checking my connections, make sure that you say hi to me in the comments so that I can shout you out. Make sure that you say hi to me so that I can shout you out in the comments. Let's see, put this in a group. Okay, let's see. Hold on just a moment. Okay, I think we are good to go. Make sure that you say hello to me in the comments. Hi, Rosalind. How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Also, please click like and share so that in the event that you all are having conversations, you are able to share this video as well. Also, make sure that you can hear me. Can you hear me? If you can, just post in the comments that you can hear me because I want to make sure that I am heard. All right. So just type in the chat either on YouTube, on Facebook. Hey, Alana, how you doing? Can you hear me? Hey, Lonnie. Good to see all my family showing up. So while we are just getting situated, let me present myself to some and introduce myself to others. I am Natasha Robinson. I am the creator and curator of Legaleaze Please. And I have created this digital platform for the purpose of deconstructing, decoding, and demystifying legal language. And I believe that we need to center liberation first in order to engage in these different practices because we have not always been uh, enslaved. We have not always been incapacitated in terms of incarcerated. Rather, we come from a history of a free people. And it is that language and that understanding that we bring to the forefront when we discuss different legal topics as well as what's going on in the news. And I am going to give an analysis as best as I can. And this is going to be a communal conversation. So it is not just about what I think. I am but one person. I am here so that we can talk about what we're talking about. And I am going to explain some things that some of you may know that others may not know. Because Legalese Please is worldwide. Yay! Clap it up for that. Because Legalese Please is worldwide. There are some viewers and some subscribers who are not United States citizens and or they may not fully understand the United States legal system. And so I'm going to give some foundational information so that we can put what is happening as it relates to the United States confirmation hearings of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson in context. Thank you, Lonnie. I appreciate that. You can always come back and watch later. All right. So let me explain just a couple of foundational things. The first thing, I'm trying to put on my professor hat because I'm also an assistant teaching professor of criminal justice. So I am, in order to keep my nerves calm, I think about it as if I am in class. So here we go. In the United States government, there are three branches of government at the federal level. The federal level has three branches of government. It is the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. The legislative branch is housed in the United States Congress. Now, I'm going off the top of my head with this, so if I get things incorrectly, just make sure to put it in the chat so I can remember. In the United States, there are three branches of government. I said legislative, executive, and judicial. The legislative branch is made up of the United States Congress. And it's the term, I think, is bicameral, which means there are two houses. You have the House of Representatives, which has 435 members. And then you have the Senate, which is 100 members. Now, why that difference in numbers? I'll tell you. Because when the country was founded, there was a discussion and a disagreement about how can elected officials represent the citizens of which states and areas they speak on behalf of. And so there was a deal, and the deal was that there would be two houses that would help to make the laws. The United States House of Representatives is based upon a state's population. So if the state has a huge population, they have more representatives in Congress in the House of Representatives than, say, Delaware or another small state. To counterbalance that, look up checks and balances. They have also the Senate, and the Senate has 100 members. It's an even number, and it is done so because they did not want the bigger states to always pass laws or legislation or have power over the smaller populated states. So the Senate has 100 members, and each state and territory has 2 members, regardless of the size of the population. So in one House of Representatives, you have 435 members. That's based on state population. In the second house, the Senate, you have every state, every territory and district has 2 members. All right. So whom is questioning Judge Jackson is members, or I should say are members of the Senate, because according to the United States Constitution, they are the house that is allowed or permitted to select a Supreme Court justice. Now, the selecting of Supreme Court justices is nothing new. All right. It is nothing new at all. I want you to look at the banner that I am going to show you. When was the United States Supreme Court established and created? When do you think the United States Supreme Court was established and created? Now, do not cheat and Google it. Just take a roundabout guess and put in the comments or let me know, when do you think it is? Okay, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds because we live in a digital age and access of information is easy to grab and it is easy to get. Okay, here is your answer. The United States Supreme Court was created on March 4th, 1789. March 4th, which was just a little over a week and a half ago. March 4th, 1789. And it was established on September 24th, 1789. What does that mean? That means that this is nothing new per se, in the sense that appointing Supreme Court justices is nothing new. Now, the selection may be more contemporary, but the establishment of the Supreme Court is nothing new. Remember at the beginning, I told you that there are three branches of government at the federal level. You have Congress, you have the executive branch, which is the president of the United States. And then you have the judicial branch, which is the United States Supreme Court. So what Judge Jackson is being confirmed for, or what these hearings are about, is to replace the position that was left by Justice Breyer, who is retiring. There are, I would just say, maybe one main way in which someone can get to the United States Supreme Court. And the process has been historically that the President of the United States gets to select nominees. She or he can say, this is the person that I want to be on the United States Supreme Court. The Supreme Court consists of 9 justices, all right? And there are, I think, 3 ways in which you can get off of the Supreme Court. You can resign, retire, you can die in your role, and there's another way, but I can't remember, but maybe I've said all the ways. And so when Justice Breyer decided he was going to retire, that left an open seat. Now, with presidential elections, also sometimes comes what are called Supreme Court picks. This is why the former president, why it was important for a lot of people that either he be elected or he be rejected, because there were at least 2 Supreme Court justices that he selected. One, he was replacing Justice Ginsburg because she died while she was a Supreme Court justice. And so over a number of years, the appointing of Supreme Court justices has gotten very political. And so what happens is, when I'm talking about politics, I'm talking about the ways in which cases are interpreted, the way in which cases that are brought to the Supreme Court, they are deciding big ticket items, such as same-gender loving marriage, such as abortion, such as immigration. All of these are big ticket items. And understand that every legal issue that comes before the United States Supreme Court does not get heard. It does not get litigated. The Supreme Court has to give what's called a writ of certiorari, which means they have to give written permission to the parties who want the Supreme Court to weigh in on an issue, and the Supreme Court will say, yeah, we'll hear it. And that does not happen often. Okay, so you can appeal to the Supreme Court, but that does not mean that the Supreme Court gets to hear what you're trying to talk about. Okay, so as a result, these are the things that come with being on the Supreme Court, is understanding what's at stake for those who are on the Supreme Court. Now, let me go ahead and tell you, initially, I was not going to come on and do this commentary. Okay, I was not going to do it. And the reason why I was not going to do it, I actually am in several chats. And one of the chats is my sister friends. And they hold me accountable. I hold them accountable. It's a community of love. And one of them asked me, hey, is Legaleaze please coming on to talk about the Senate confirmation hearings? And I was like, I don't know about that. Now, of course, I just told you at the very beginning that Legaleaze Please is, we're about the business of liberation, and we build everyone up by breaking it down. It being the invitation, it being the information, so that people can understand what is going on and how it's all connected. I was reluctant because I have seen this before. I have gone through this before. And I think that it is very hypocritical of all of these people to be questioning this very qualified Black woman, judge, private attorney, federal former public defender, while they are questioning this overqualified Harvard graduate about what she's ruled upon, who she's represented. I just felt that to be hypocritical. One, because some of these people have never ever been a judge. Some of them have never appeared in front of a judge. Some of them are not even lawyers, and yet they're going to sit and they are going to question this Black woman about everything that she has ever done legally and probably some extra. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with it, first of all, because you have currently sitting on the Supreme Court a person. Here goes a content warning that I'm going to give that I forgot to give at the beginning. You have currently on the Supreme Court at least two justices who have been accused anywhere from sexual inappropriateness all the way to being accused of committing sexual assault. And so you're going to jump past all of them and question this woman, this Black woman? No, she's not being questioned because of her judicial record. She's not being questioned because she may have had what some may be some questionable verdicts or findings. She's being questioned because she is a Black woman. She's being questioned because she is overqualified. She is being questioned because you have people who are asking her questions who they succeed in mediocrity, and this is their chance to shine on behalf of their state and their constituency. And so they're just trying to provide as many stumbling blocks and speed bumps as is possible. So in the same way that you can find a Justice Kavanaugh qualified, in the same way you can have the last Supreme Court pick who didn't even have, in my opinion, and this is my platform so I can say it, who didn't even have the legal acumen necessary or needed to sit on the highest court in the United States. When you have those two persons, and then when you have someone who I will say is an aesthetic African, who was engaged in a lot of sexual inappropriateness, so much so that the person who was victimized by that, who is now Professor Anita Hill, she was ostracized. She was figuratively lynched for coming against this justice, and he was confirmed. So I find it very hypocritical for people who claim to be representing the interests of the company of I meant to say the country, but sometimes what they're doing is very capitalistic, and so I will say company. It is very frustrating to watch, and so I wasn't going to watch these hearings because this is just how I feel. To watch a Black woman who has shown through her service, who has shown through her jurisprudence, who has shown through her decisions and with what she aligns, that she is more than capable of doing the job. So all of these isms are showing their faces: the racism, sexism, classism, all the isms. The other thing is that, as I told one of my sister friends, if you take race and gender out of the equation, this wouldn't even be an issue. This wouldn't even be an issue as to her qualifications. But because of who she is and what she stands for, it's going to be another political show. The other thing is that, and I want to put this article in the chat so that you are able to read it. This is an article that was written in the New York Times, and it came out today, and it was highlighting some of the unique factors about Judge Jackson, who she is, and why she may be a little bit different than her previous Supreme Court Justice nominees. One of the things which is very important to me is that unlike anyone else who is sitting on the Supreme Court, she has been a federal public defender, a federal public defender. Now, why is that important? I have never been a federal public defender, but I have been a state one, a county one. And let me tell you what federal public defenders do, or public defenders in general. We represent those who cannot afford an attorney. Now, the United States Constitution has given constitutional rights where, and there's case law supporting this, is that everyone has the right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. And so you have that right at the local and the state level, and you also have that right at the federal level, which means whoever Judge Jackson represented as a federal public defender, it meant that she represented someone who was probably very unpopular, someone who could not afford an attorney, and someone who she did not choose to represent. Because public defenders on the federal and the state and local level are appointed to our cases. We do not select anyone. And so what happens is that once we are appointed to those cases, then we do our best. We are zealous advocates for those who are poor, for those who are disfranchised, for those who are marginalized, for those who maybe private representation by other people, they may look down upon you representing those persons. And that just comes with the territory. But what is important is that as she is a federal public defender, within her representation also comes the discussion about not only representing the client, but also representing what the client is charged with. That is double speak for you represent or have represented poor people. You represent or have represented marginalized persons. You represented or have represented Black and brown bodies. And as you have seen in earlier videos that I have posted on Legaleaze Please on YouTube and on Facebook, that the more melanin you have in your skin, the more likely it is that you are guilty of nothing else than your skin color. Okay. And so these are they that Judge Jackson represented when she was a federal public defender. So she is also, in a sense, on trial for that as well. I'm trying to think of some other things that I want to highlight. And of course, put all of your questions in the chat, because whatever I cannot answer today, I will answer in part 2 of our conversation. Oh, I also wanted to talk about, so aside from the Senate confirmation hearings, which is what is going on now, how is a Supreme Court justice confirmed? Okay, so it only takes a simple majority. They are right now 100 senators, of course, in the United States Senate, which I told you before is on purpose. And so out of those 100 senators, hey, Moni, out of those 100 senators, you only need a simple majority. Make sure, if you have not already, click like, click share to share this video, because there might be some conversations about these Senate confirmation hearings, and you may need a legal and other stuff, a legal analysis. And so I'm providing that. So please make sure to share with your networks. It takes a simple majority, which means out of 100 senators, you only need 51. Okay, simple majority is half plus 1. So half of 100 is 50, and then you need one extra person. So 51 out of 100 senators you need to confirm any Supreme Court nominee. Now, what is the breakdown of the Senate? Right now, at last I checked, the Senate has 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans. 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans, which means it is right down the middle. Okay, right down the middle. So let's see. Do you remember out of your history lesson, who is the person that can break the tie? Who is the person that breaks the tie? Okay, who breaks the tie in the Senate if, let's say, for example, 50 Democrats vote one way and 50 Republicans vote another way? Who breaks the tie? You want to know who breaks the tie? Who breaks the tie? Are you waiting for me to tell you the answer? Here's who breaks the tie: the vice president. The vice president breaks the tie. So whenever there is a dead heat and there are 50 Republicans for this and there are 50 Democrats for this, who is the one person that can break the tie? The vice president. Now, why is that important? Who is the vice president? Yep, that's who it is. Vice President Kamala Harris, another Black woman. Okay, so this is going to be interesting because in my prediction, it's going to come down to party lines. It's going to come down to party lines. And please also understand that those who voted to have Judge Jackson be a federal judge, because that also involves hearings. That's not something where you can just get sworn in and go about your business. You have to also be approved by the Senate. And some of these people who are trying to oppose her were the same people who voted for her to be a federal judge. Okay? So these are the things that you need to consider, because when I told you in the beginning about this being very political, this is what I am discussing. When you listen to the questions that are being asked of Judge Jackson, you will know, aside from the caption that is placed in the lower third of your television or your phone, you will know what party that person is from and their intentions. Now, you can separate their intentions from their party, but you will start to see a pattern. And in order to be as objective as I try to be, you will start to see the pattern. You will start to see the pattern of those who are members of a particular party and who are for her. And you will see a particular pattern of those who are against her and who are members of a particular party. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you are watching the confirmation hearings. My understanding when I looked at the schedule is that this is to go on tomorrow, and then it's to go on Thursday in terms of the hearings. And then at that point, there will probably be a Senate vote, and then we'll know from there what the final answer or analysis is. So I'm looking at your comments to see if there are any questions. What disqualifies? Antoinette, I see you asking a question. I'm going to put it up here so everyone can see it. What are disqualifications? It seems to be a very subjective process. So I have two answers. The first answer is there used to be a list about what disqualifies you from being a Supreme Court justice. The latter statement that you make is very true. It is very subjective because my second answer is whoever wants to be it. That is who who wants to be it. I will have to take a look to see what disqualifies someone officially. But it used to be a time where if you didn't have any judicial experience, you didn't have a chance. But as we saw from one current Supreme Court justice who never was a judge, but was rather over the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, I think that's what it stands for. I know it's EEOC. He didn't have any judicial experience, and yet he is sitting on the highest court in the land, which is the United States Supreme Court. So go figure. Kanisha, you say, and to couch it, Kanisha is an attorney. So she is providing her legal analysis, and many times their questions are not even questions. They are statements and grandstanding of their opposition. Absolutely. Okay, because remember, these nominations are televised, okay, around the world and definitely around the country. So what does that mean? It is not just about making statements and asking questions now. This is for your constituents, and this is for the future. This is for the people who are going to have a long memory. And remember, what questions did you ask, and what side of history were you on? What side of justice were you on? Okay, so they are talking. That's exactly right. They're talking to their base. Because let me tell you something, if you haven't already figured this out, know this. These people who are senators, they already know how they're going to vote. They already know how they are going to vote, but they know that their constituency, which are the people who have voted for them, as well as their base, as Kanisha couches it, they are going to be listening and they are going to be watching. So what happens is that they got to put on a show. Simple as that. They have to put on a show. And the person who they expect the casualty to be is the current nominee. Okay. So those are my initial thoughts, which is why I said I want to have a part 2. Because as you are watching these confirmation hearings, you may have more technical questions. But basically, what you were watching so far is you already saw Judge Jackson introduce herself to the nation. She gave a statement. She talked about who she was, what she believed in, and then you started hearing the questions. So what they are doing now is they are questioning her about basically everything. Every case that she may have been attorney on, every case which she provided a sentence, which is a final legal disposition on. They may also be asking her questions about cases that are landmark cases. Landmark cases like Roe versus Wade. In recent years, in recent times, that United States landmark Supreme case, which gives someone who identifies as a woman the right to make decisions regarding her body, that has come under strong opposition. And there have been different legislative attempts to try and take that constitutional right, that legal right back. So much so that I know at some point there's going to be a case that will come before the Supreme Court, and it will involve whether or not Roe versus Wade should be overturned. Okay, these are the reasons why the Supreme Court selection is so important, because this is, I don't know if I said it earlier, but this is a lifetime appointment, which means once you get on the court, and unless you step down because you are resigning or retiring, or because you die while a Supreme Court justice, there's no getting off. This is a lifetime appointment. Okay. So this is why it's important. And also the decisions that are made by the Supreme Court justices, they have a lasting effect on how other cases are interpreted. So this is why this is important. All right. So if you could put in the comments right now, any questions that you have, any comments that you have. Like I said, this is the initial, this is my initial commentary about what is happening so far. My plan is to come back on Thursday and talk more about what is going on. So put your questions or comments in the chat and I will read them in a moment. Okay, I'm just checking to see what your questions are. All right, so can a Supreme Court justice be impeached and removed? I think is the question that I see. The technical answer is yes. But the last time it happened was March 1st. That's my daughter's birthday. March 1st, 1805. 1805. And understand, just because a person is impeached does not mean that they have to leave their office. Technically, the prior president was impeached. I want to say he was been impeached twice, but there has to be an additional. Once he is impeached, what that means is that there impeachment, as we understand it, means, at least what I understand it to mean, is that there are enough charges to bring against you to say you should not be in this particular office, and then there is a trial. So although the former president and another president was impeached, that does not mean that they were found guilty. So impeach is different than being removed or resigning. Okay, so can Supreme Court justices be impeached? I believe they absolutely can be impeached. But will they be? Probably not, because that's where that discretion comes in. I think the disqualification language is you're operating you're not operating in good behavior, I think is what the language is. And good behavior, we know, is subjective. Okay. And so there is no official definition of what good behavior is. So hopefully, Rosalind, that answers your question. Your second question is, could Biden have picked more than one nominee to stack the court? Can you say more about your question? Because what happens is that in if you're looking at the history of how justices have been selected, there is only one pick per vacancy. So if you're asking if President Biden can say, okay, I got these people, this is my squad, and as soon as someone dies or retires or resigns, this is the next person. If that's the question you're asking, the answer is no. That does not usually happen. Now, also understand that just because the president selects someone to be nominated does not mean that hearings are going to occur. Let's see. I'm going to tell you about who was nominated and they were ignored. The man who is now the attorney general. So when, let's say, for example, President Obama was in office, he was the 44th president. He nominated, and the justices that were appointed and confirmed were Sonia Sotomayor in 2009 and Elena Kagan in 2010. But there is, why is his name escaping me? Hold on, I got to do my research. Merrick, is his name Merrick Garland? Yes, Merrick Garland. Do you all remember right before? Thank you, Rosalind. Do you remember right before President Obama was his term was getting ready to end, and he nominated Merrick Garland, who is now the Attorney General of the United States. And thank you, Margie. And basically, the Republicans was like, yes, but no. We are not even going to give a hearing. We're not even going to welcome your nomination. Hey, Dr. Irene, we're not even going to welcome your nomination. And what they did was they stalled. In fact, that nomination was dead in the water. When President Obama said, I nominate Merrick Garland to be on the Supreme Court, the Republicans were like, no. And you know what? They did not show up for anything. And I remember, I think it was then Senate Majority Leader, what's his name? Oh, I'm trying not to say what I want to say. What is his name? The one that is, you know who I'm talking about. And it's not Ted Cruz, it's the other one. Mitch McConnell. Thank you. Mitch McConnell said basically in several press conferences, don't even, and I'm paraphrasing, don't even come at me with this. Okay. That don't even come at me with this. Because I'm not trying to hear it, and neither am my party. And you know what? That nomination was dead in the water. They basically told the president, okay, you've had 2 bites at the apple within your 8 years. You're not about to have a third. Okay. And so that was very strategic, and it showed the power that, political parties may have, where they may call any party at this point. One party may call another party hard to work with, and then be the same party that literally stalls the things that either the president or other entities are trying to do. So, yeah. It just shows that just because the president nominates a person does not mean that that person is going to receive a hearing. Rosalind, you asked, there are currently be 12, but can't there be more than 12 by executive order? 12 what? There are currently 12 what? Put in the chat what you are discussing. Dr. Irie, I hate that Cruz seemed to put Jackson against Hannah Jones, 1619. You know as well as I do that they're not putting people, against people for the sake of saying, well, this person is saying this and you're saying this. They're just trying to benefit in the economy of confusion. Okay. And when I say confusion, I don't mean confusion as we don't understand. I mean as confusion in order to conflate. Rosalind, there are not 12 Supreme Court members. There are only 9. There are 9. And technically right now there are 8. Well, no, there are 9 because I don't think that Justice Breyer stepped down yet. So, but there are 9 members. So, Rosalind, do me a favor and just ask your question again. Type it out again, because right now it's coming in sections, so I don't know what you're asking. But yes, Dr. Reed, to your point, they're trying to, and when I say they, those who oppose Judge Jackson are trying to come up with every piece of minutia to go against her being confirmed. And so they're going to do whatever they have to do. And also understand, thank you, Spirit, also understand that critical race theory and anything that talks about the true history in all of its glory and all of its goriness, anything that shows what America is and what America is capable of, they are going to take those line items, those hashtags, those keywords, and they're going to do what Kanisha talked about earlier about igniting the base. So anything that you could mention that will send people off, that can become little taglines, that is going to show why you shouldn't vote for this person. And right now, all these different taglines is basically just saying, look, don't confuse me with the facts. We're going to inject enough confusion into this argument so that you lose track of what is really the thing that matters here. Okay. And they're trying to get her to renounce critical race theory. Now, why is that? Because those of us who know what critical race theory know that it is being misappropriately defined and applied. But yet it is something that once you say it, it is now being equated as anti-American. How dare you talk about critical race theory and not talk about being loyal to the Constitution of the United States and being loyal to the country. You can love the country and hold it accountable. You can love the country and critique its methods, its choices, its implementation of different policies. And so, again, it is what I said in the beginning. It's a game of politics. It's a game of smoke and mirrors. It's a game of, I don't really care if this person is going to be nominated per se. This is my moment. This is my time. So let me push publicly an agenda so that people can remember when it's time to vote. They can remember my name and my agenda. Rosa, you said there have been talk of adding additional members by executive order to stack the court to. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. So what I hear you saying is that there are 9 members right now, and there has been talk of adding more Supreme Court members to the Supreme Court by way of executive order. I would say my answer to that is it's just talk right now. Okay, it's just talk right now. And the reason why I say that is because that is a huge choice that is more than just intention. And for President Biden, I'm not a political analyst, but this is my understanding. In order for President Biden to get across the legislation and things that he wants done, he has to rank and select those things that are of most importance to him, his administration, and his legacy. And sometimes that means trading. Sometimes that means bargaining, negotiating. And so I don't know if this is on his top 3 of things to get accomplished. I'm not sure. So if it is to happen, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to mention you because you do raise that important question. But my understanding right now is it's just talk. Okay, it's just talk. Oh, you're more than welcome. I just want to make sure I understood and that I did not misunderstand you or misquote you. All right, so we are going to come back on Thursday for part 2. And for part 2, by that time, we will have seen more of the hearings. And again, just make your own observations, and also bring your questions, and we will address them on Thursday. But for right now, if you will be so kind, you can click like and click share. If you have questions before Thursday, and you want to ask me those questions because you don't want to forget, you can email me at Legaleaze Please. You can email me at Legaleaze Please, and I will be happy to answer your questions. If you want me to ask them in a community setting, please let me know. And if you want to remain anonymous but ask the questions, let me know that as well, because I do value your privacy. Okay, I am on all things. I am on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and I am on Twitter. Okay, Facebook, this is my Legaleaze Please page. Instagram is Legaleaze_please. You can, I don't want to say follow me. I need to change that language. I want to say connect with me, invest with me, communicate with me. Okay, I am nobody's savior, so I don't want to use the term follow. I want to use the term connect and partner and invest. Okay, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is under Legaleaze Please. And I will see you on Thursday. I will see you on Thursday. I'll let you know what time. Thank you, Dr. Irie. I thank you for being here. Thank you, Antoinette. My pleasure. Be sure to click like and click share, and we will continue this on Thursday. All right, take care. Have a great day. Bye.